When warmth and cold stand side by side, there are moments in life when two worlds sit right next to each other, and you can feel the difference with your whole body. One world is warm, safe, bright. The other world is cold, empty, quiet, and sometimes you don't even notice which world you're standing in until something shakes you awake. Let me tell you something. Life will always show you the truth through contrast. Think about times when you were helping everyone around you, giving your time, your energy, your care, while your own heart sat in the cold. Think about moments when you watched others feel joy while you held pain in your own hands. We've all stood in that place, maybe in your home, maybe in a friendship, maybe in a job that drained you day after day. That clash between warmth and cold is not just a feeling, it's a message. When the people around you feel comfortable while you feel frozen inside, something is wrong. And deep down, you know it. The moment that forces you to see the truth, there comes a day when you can't pretend anymore. A day when the cold hits you so hard that you feel it in your bones. That's the moment that wakes you up. It may be a small scene, a look, a comment, a silence that cuts deeper than words. Maybe you kept giving chances. Maybe you kept saying, it's fine. Maybe you kept hoping things would get better. But life has a way of putting a light on the truth. You've been avoiding. You can hide from many things, but you can't hide from reality forever. Think about people who stayed in places that drained them because they didn't want to be the one who walked away. Think about parents who stayed strong for years until one day they saw their child hurt and everything inside them changed. Think about someone who smiled on the outside but cried in the shower because they felt invisible in their own home. That moment of truth is not gentle, it's sharp. And it forces you to say, I can't keep living like this. That is the first real step toward change. Why this story isn't just a story, it's a wake-up call. What you're hearing right now is not just a scene from someone's life. It's a mirror. It's a wake-up call for anyone who has ever stood in a cold place hoping it would turn warm on its own. Life doesn't change because you wait. It changes because you decide. Many people walk through life half awake, ignoring the signs, ignoring the pain, ignoring the moments that are trying to save them. And then they wonder why they feel empty inside. But every story that shakes you, every lesson that hits you, every moment that stirs something inside you is trying to pull you out of the cold. Let me tell you something important. You are not meant to live without respect. You are not meant to survive on small love. You are not meant to stay quiet while your heart freezes. This story is a reminder that you have a choice. You can stay where you are and shrink, or you can step toward warmth and rise. This is your chance to listen, learn, and finally say, my life deserves better than this. When pain becomes the alarm, you can't ignore pain, has a strange way of speaking. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't hint. It hits you straight in the chest and forces you to feel what you've been trying to avoid. Pain is the alarm that shakes your world when you keep pretending nothing is wrong. You may try to push it away, but it keeps coming back stronger each time. Think about moments when you kept giving your best to someone who didn't notice. Think about staying in a place that drained you because you didn't want to cause trouble. Think about nights when you told yourself, I'm okay, while your heart said, no, you're not. Pain shows up when you've been carrying too much for too long. It's the body's way of saying, wake up, look at your life. Something needs to change. People often ignore the warning signs. They excuse the hurt. They hope it will fix itself. But life doesn't work that way. When pain strikes, it's not trying to break you. It's trying to guide you. It's trying to pull you away from the cold and towards something better. And until you listen, it will keep getting louder. You can't sleep through this kind of alarm. You can only face it and ask yourself, What is this moment trying to teach me? The weight you feel when someone you love is hurting there is. No weight heavier than watching someone you care about fall apart while you stand there trying to keep them safe. When you love someone deeply, their pain becomes your pain. Their tears feel like your own. Their struggles sit on your chest like a load you never signed up for but still choose to carry. You start to see the world through their hurt. You start to feel responsible for their protection, even when the situation is bigger than you. Think about a parent who sees their child scared or ignored. Think about a friend who watches someone they love settle for sadness because they don't know they deserve more. Think about times when you stood between someone you love and the world, hoping to block the hurt with your own strength. That weight changes you. It forces you to question everything, your choices, your silence, your limits. And sometimes it pushes you to do things you never thought you could do. When someone you love is hurting, something rises inside you, a voice that says, no more. A voice that says, you're not alone. I will not let this continue. That voice is love, but it's also courage. And courage grows strongest when you're standing in front of someone you refuse to let break. The moment you realize some people don't deserve a place in your life, there comes a point when the truth becomes too clear to ignore. A moment when you finally accept that not everyone who stands close to you deserves to stay close to you. Some people enjoy the warmth you bring but never offer any back. Some take your kindness and give nothing in return. Some laugh while you hurt and you keep making space for them because you hope they will change. But there is a day when the mask slips. A day when their actions speak louder than their excuses. A day when you see the difference between someone who adds to your life and someone who drains it. That moment is painful, but it's also freeing. It teaches you that letting people go is not cruel, it's necessary. You can't grow in places where you're only valued for what you give. You can't heal around people who pretend not to see your pain. You can't step into a better life while holding on to hands that keep pulling you backward. And the truth is simple. You are not required to carry everyone with you. You are not required to save people who refuse to change. You have the right to choose yourself. You have the right to protect your peace. And you have the right to walk away from anyone who treats your heart like it doesn't matter. The silent prison of trying not to disappoint anyone's. So many people live trapped in a quiet prison. A prison built from the fear of upsetting others. They say yes when they want to. Say no. They stay quiet when they should speak. They stay present in places that drain them because they think leaving would make them look selfish. But trying to please everyone is not kindness. It's self-destruction. When you shape your life around keeping others comfortable, you slowly disappear. You shrink. You lose your voice. You lose your fire. Think about how many times you agreed to things that stole your joy. Think about how often you stayed calm to avoid being judged. Think about how often you carried more than you could handle because you didn't want anyone to think you were weak. That kind of life is not peaceful, it's heavy. People who fear disappointing others end up disappointing themselves every single day. But here's the truth. You cannot save your life and protect everyone's feelings at the same time. You are not here to be a shadow. You are here to stand in your full strength. And the moment you stop living for others is the moment you finally start living for yourself. Why false? Hope keeps you standing, and the cold hope can be a beautiful thing. But false hope can be one of the most dangerous traps. It keeps you stuck in places that don't deserve you. It makes you believe that maybe, just maybe, things will get better even when all the signs point the other way. You keep waiting for someone to care. You keep waiting for someone to change. You keep waiting for the warmth to return, even though the cold has been there for years. Think about the person who stays in a painful relationship, because they remember how good it used to be. Think about the worker who stays in a job that destroys their mind because they keep waiting for one good day. Think about the friend who stays loyal to someone who only calls when they need something. That's what false hope does. It freezes your feet. It steals your time. It holds your life still. But here's the truth. Warmth doesn't return by wishing. It returns when you move, when you take a step. When you say, I deserve more than waiting for someone else to change. The cold will keep you forever unless you choose to walk toward the fire, when love blinds you to the pain you shouldn't accept. Love is powerful. It can lift you. It can break you. And sometimes it can blind you so deeply that you start accepting things you should have walked away from long ago. When you care about someone, you make excuses for their behavior. You explain away their silence. You justify their coldness. You tell yourself it's just a phase. But the truth is, love becomes dangerous when it steals your ability to see clearly. Think about the person who forgives the same hurt over and over because they believe love means patience. Think about the parent who accepts disrespect because they don't want to lose connection with their child. Think about the partner who keeps giving while getting nothing in return because they believe love eventually balances out. But real love does not blind you. Real love does not leave you empty. Real love does not hurt the same way again and again. When love becomes the reason you stay in pain, it's no longer love, it's fear. And the moment you see that, everything changes. You begin to understand that love should lift you, not break you. And you begin to walk away from what your heart was never meant to carry. Stop listening to words start watching actions. People can say anything. Words are easy. They can sound sweet. They can sound sincere. They can keep you hopeful. But words without action are just noise. The real truth is always in what people do, not what they say. Think about someone who promises to show up but always finds an excuse. Think about someone who tells you they care but never acts like it. Think about someone who apologizes but repeats the same behavior again and again. Actions are the real language. When someone values you, you feel it. When someone respects you, you see it. When someone wants you in their life, they don't leave you guessing. Let me tell you something important. Stop letting words blind you. Stop letting promises distract you. Look at the pattern. Look at the effort. Look at the energy. Because actions never lie. And when you start watching actions instead of listening to empty words, you protect yourself from a lot of hurt. Pressure shows who's real and who's pretending. Hard times reveal everything. When life gets heavy, you see who stands with you and who steps back. Pressure breaks masks. Pressure exposes truth. Anyone can smile beside you when things are easy. Anyone can enjoy your warmth when you have strength to give. But when you reach a moment where you need help, that's when you see who is real. Think about people who vanished when you needed support the most. Think about people who changed their tone when you were no longer useful to them. Think about the few who stayed by your side, even when you had nothing to offer. Hard moments show you who belongs in your life. They show you the loyal ones, the honest ones, the ones who truly care. This is why pressure is not your enemy. It is the test that shows you the truth. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start choosing better. You start giving your time to people who earn it. You start protecting your heart from people who failed you when it mattered most. Choose the people who would choose you back. Life becomes lighter when you finally stop chasing people who leave you standing alone. You deserve relationships where support goes both ways. You deserve people who reach for you the same way you reach for them. Think about friendships where only one person carries all the weight. Think about relationships where one person tries while the other doesn't care. Think about families where one person sacrifices everything but gets nothing in return. You don't need to fight for a place in someone's life. You don't need to beg for warmth. You don't need to convince anyone to care. The right people don't make you question your worth. They show it to you through their actions. They stand with you not only in your strong moments, but also in your weakest. Choose people who lift you. Choose people who see your value. Choose people who would choose you even when you have nothing but your truth. Because real connection is not built on need. It's built on choice. And you deserve to be chosen. How hurt points you toward the life you deserve. Hurt is not the end of your story. It is the turning point. When something breaks inside you, it creates a space where truth can finally enter. Pain has a way of pushing you out of places you were never meant to stay. Think about times when you lost something you thought you needed, only to find something better later. Think about how heartbreak taught you what real care should feel like. Think about how a setback gave you the push to leave a job, a friend group, or a habit that held you back. Hurt clears the path. It shows you what matters. It teaches you what to avoid. It forces you to grow in ways comfort never could. When hurt enters your life, it isn't there to destroy you. It's there to guide you, to protect you, to push you toward a life filled with warmth, respect, and strength. Pain is not the enemy. Staying stuck is. The strength you find in the dark moments. Strength is never built in easy times. It is forged in the moments when you feel alone, tired, scared, or confused. When the lights go out and you have nothing left but your will, that is when your real power appears. Think about someone who went through a rough patch and came out wiser. Think about people who lost everything but still rebuilt their lives piece by piece. Think about your own life. Every dark moment you've survived has shaped you into someone stronger. Darkness teaches you endurance. It teaches you clarity. It teaches you resilience. When everything falls apart, you learn how to stand without support. When no one hears your struggles, you learn how to hold yourself together. These moments are painful, but they also reveal your true capacity. And once you see your own strength, once you realize you can survive storms you never imagined, you become someone who cannot be easily shaken. The break that becomes the start of your rise there is always a moment when everything inside you snaps, not in weakness, but in awakening. A moment when you say, I can't live like this anymore. That break is not the end. It is the spark that starts your rise. It's the moment when you stop accepting less. It's the moment when you stop giving chances to people who don't earn them. It's the moment when you decide that your life, your peace, your future matter too much to keep waiting. Think about someone who turned their life around after losing something important. Think about people who found their purpose after hitting their lowest point. Think about how many successes were born out of pain, out of endings, out of moments that felt too hard to bear. That breaking point becomes the doorway to your new chapter. It becomes the reason you change your habits, change your circle, change your direction. Sometimes life has to crack you open so the light can reach places that have been dark for too long. And once you rise from that break, you rise with more strength than you ever knew you had. The moment you break away from what hurts you, moment you finally admit you deserve better, there comes a day when you stop pretending. The day when you stop telling yourself that maybe things will get better if I just keep trying. Let me tell you something. The day you admit you deserve better is not a moment of weakness. It's the first moment of real strength, because you finally stop fighting to be understood by people who never tried to know your heart in the first place. You start seeing the truth in simple things. The tightness in your chest that never goes away. The forced smile you wear just to avoid another argument. The way your spirit feels smaller every time you walk into the same room where your worth is ignored. And then it hits you. You can't live like this anymore. You can't keep shrinking just to make others feel comfortable. You can't keep giving chances to people who treat your kindness like a doormat. That realization, quiet, painful, But honest becomes the line in the sand. You whisper to yourself, I deserve better. And for the first time, you believe it. And that belief becomes the start of a different life. Walking away even when every step hurts. Walking away is not the easy thing. It's the brave thing. People talk about leaving like it's simple, like it's just picking up your things and closing a door. But you know better. You know that walking away feels like pulling your heart out of a fire while it's still burning. Every step feels heavy. Every memory tries to pull you back. Every familiar thing whispers, stay, maybe this time it will be different. But you've seen enough. You've felt enough. And you finally understand that staying in a place where you're breaking is far more painful than leaving with a wounded heart. Walking away means choosing yourself in a world that taught you to put others first. It means choosing peace even when the noise behind you tries to call you back. It means choosing your truth over the lies you kept telling yourself. And yes, it hurts. But it's the kind of hurt that leads to healing. It's the kind of hurt that opens doors you never saw before. One day, you'll look back and say, that was the hardest thing I ever did. But it saved my life. The silent damage of staying where you're not valued, staying where you're not valued doesn't break you in one loud moment. It breaks you quietly, day by day. You start losing pieces of yourself without even noticing. Your smile fades a little. Your energy drops a little. Your confidence slowly sinks into the ground. And before you know it, you're living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. The damage doesn't show up like bruises. It shows up as doubt, as hesitation, as fear. It shows up as that voice inside you that says, maybe I'm not enough. And that's the worst part. You start believing the lies that the wrong people fed you. But here's the truth. Staying where you're not valued never brings love. It only brings more loss. It steals your peace. It steals your time. It steals the brightness you were born with. Leaving may hurt, but staying destroys you quietly. And you deserve a life where your presence is not only seen, but appreciated. Rebuilding your life and your inner fire, building the warmth you could never find in others. There comes a point where you stop waiting for someone to bring you the warmth you needed all along. You stop hoping that one day they will change. One day they will understand. One day they will finally see your worth. Instead, you turn inward. You start building the warmth yourself. You learn how to trust your own voice. You learn how to stand tall without leaning on someone who never wanted to hold you anyway. You build small habits that bring peace, morning silence, a long walk, a new hobby, a healthier boundary. And slowly, something beautiful happens. You stop feeling empty. You stop feeling cold. You stop feeling like you need someone else to complete you. You realize the warmth you were searching for was inside you the whole time, just buried under years of trying to hold everyone else together. This warmth becomes your new foundation. Choosing people who stand with you, not against you. When you rebuild yourself, something shifts. You stop giving your time to people who drain you. You stop letting people close who only show up when they need something. Instead, you start paying attention. You look at who checks on you without being asked, who listens when you speak, who respects your boundaries, who brings calm, not chaos. You start choosing people who stand with you in the dark, not just in the daylight. People who show care through small actions, being there, being steady, being honest. People who don't make you feel like you're too much or not enough. Life becomes lighter when you surround yourself with people who choose you the same way you choose them, because real support doesn't shout. It shows up. Teaching the world how you expect to be treated. Every boundary you set is a lesson. Every no you speak is a reminder of who you are. People learn how to treat you from the way you treat yourself. If you accept disrespect, they will continue it. If you stay silent when they hurt you, they will repeat it. But when you stand, firm, calm, clear, and steady, they understand something. You respect yourself now. You teach the world that your heart is not a place for careless hands. You teach people that your time has value. You teach them that your peace is not up for negotiation. And when someone can't meet that standard, you let them go without anger. Because protecting your peace is more important than keeping anyone who doesn't know how to care for it. The power of protecting what matter is becoming the strength that protects what matters. When you've been through hurt, you see the world differently. You understand pain in a way others don't, and that understanding becomes strength. You become the shield for the people you love, not by shouting, not by fighting, but by raising the standard. You protect them by showing what calm strength looks like. You protect them by teaching them to trust their voice. You protect them by breaking the pattern you once lived in. Your strength becomes a shelter, not a weapon, showing others the kind of love they deserve to feel. The best lesson you can give someone is showing them what healthy love looks like. Love that doesn't scare them. Love that doesn't break them. Love that makes them feel safe, respected, and valued. Children learn love from what they see. Friends learn love from what they feel. And you become the example they remember through your actions, through your steadiness, through your calm strength. You show them love should never come with fear. It should come with warmth. Ending the pain you were never meant to inherit. Every family, every home, every past carries its own pain. But not every pain belongs to you. The moment you decide, this ends with me, everything shifts. You stop passing down the hurt you lived through. You stop repeating the patterns you grew up around. You stop letting old wounds shape your future. Ending the pain doesn't mean forgetting it. It means refusing to let it rule your life. You break the cycle by choosing differently, by loving differently, by walking away when needed, by standing strong when it matters. That choice doesn't just save you, it saves everyone who comes after you. Conclusion. Your final fire, read the moment that sparked the fire inside you. That moment, the cold room. The painful truth, the breaking point you never expected was not the end. It was the spark. The beginning of a fire you didn't know you had. A fire that pushed you to rise, to walk away, to rebuild yourself with stronger hands and a clearer heart. Your final step toward a warmer, stronger life. Now you know what cold feels like. And because of that, you'll never stay in it again. Your next step is simple. Choose warmth. Choose peace. Choose people who bring strength, not fear. Choose the life that makes your heart lighter, not heavier. A closing promise to the life you deserve. You deserve warmth. You deserve safety. You deserve a life where your heart is protected, not played with. You deserve to wake up without fear. You deserve to walk through life knowing you matter. This is your promise to yourself. You will not go back to the cold. You will not shrink to fit anyone's comfort. You will live the life you were always meant to live.